Modern zombies versus classic zombies. This has been a big debate ever since Cold War's introduction, and now with Black Ops 6, I think is more divisive than ever. There's a lot of people who really like the modern formula, and there's also a lot of people who really like the classic formula. And I have my own thoughts on it, and I'm personally on the classic side. I've been playing since World at War, and I want to talk about today why I feel like classic mechanics are just better in almost every single way. For starters, let's start with the one that really pisses me off the most. And the reason why it pisses me off the most is because this mechanic is literally, or was literally, my favorite mechanic in the entire game. Oh, the mystery box, how you have fallen so far. One of the most iconic elements of zombies has always been the mystery box. In classic maps, it was exciting, risky, and strategic depending on how you wanted to play the game. You spent points, you risked your life, and hoped for a weapon that could dramatically change the course of your game. You could get the damn China Lake, or you could get the Wonder Waff out of the box. It's all up to chance. Classic mechanics made the mystery box feel like a true gamble, and not just a weapon box where you would just only hit it for the wonder weapon like you do in modern zombies now. Now, why was it so compelling back then compared to now? First, let's talk about the actual relationship of beginning rounds in zombies and the mystery box itself. Now, look at modern zombies now, and then look at classic zombies back then. What is the major difference between the two when starting a match? Well, with classic zombies, most of the time, besides Black Ops 4, which I would say is more of like a in-between modern and classic kind of design, you start with a starting pistol, which was very weak, was pretty good for getting you points in the beginning of the game to get you started, but again, it wasn't anything special unless you took it to Pack-a-Punch with you towards the end of the game. And in classic zombies, you've got two paths. You can either go the wall weapon route, where you go get the M14, the Olympia, or the MP40, or whatever you want, doesn't really matter. Or you can go to the mystery box, which is where all the powerful and unique weapons lied. The wonder weapons are in there, just like in the modern zombies, but the difference between modern zombies and classic zombies in this instance is that in modern zombies, you can just spawn in with that LMG that you want. You can just spawn in with that shotgun that you want. You can spawn in with that rocket launcher that you want. It doesn't matter. And due to that fact, it literally makes the mystery box almost useless in modern zombies. The only thing that the mystery box maybe could be good for in modern zombies now is getting the wonder weapon. And that's about it. Nobody that I play with uses the mystery box that much, besides if they're spamming it to get the wonder weapon, and that's really honestly about it. Again, you had to be willing to take way more risks in classic zombies than you do now. And sometimes you had to make tough choices like, do I risk my points now? Or do I save them for a perk or Pack-a-Punch upgrade? Whenever you look at modern zombies now with the loadout system, it completely reduces, at least by 90%, the need to gamble those points, or honestly, completely negates it. Again, unless you are going for the wonder weapon itself. Why would I want to go to the mystery box and try and get my LMG when in the beginning of the game, I'm like, oh, there it is. I'm just going to spawn in with this thing and I'm never going to use the box. I don't have to use the box. And due to you having to dedicate so much salvage and essence into upgrading those weapons, it makes it even less desirable to go to the box and get another weapon, even if you wanted to, because those systems now are so expensive. The thrill of the risk versus reward with the mystery box is just completely non-existent now. You no longer have to make that strategic decision between the mystery box or Pack-a-Punch or wall weapons, because that dynamic just doesn't exist in modern zombies now. The mystery box 99% of the time in modern zombies just becomes a novelty just because it's part of the mode rather than an actual core part of the real gameplay loop. The box in classics was high stakes and high reward. Every spin mattered, and every weapon change could alter your approach, and you never knew if you'd get something game-changing or something completely useless. That tension and unpredictability and risk-reward decision-making is, like I said, completely lost in modern zombies maps, reducing one of the most iconic aspects of zombies, period, to a background feature unless you're chasing the wonder weapon. Now, speaking of loadouts and all that good shit, one of the biggest differences that irks me in modern zombies is the starting weapons. Let's look at classic zombies. You start most of the time with a pistol. Early rounds were tense, and you couldn't just spray bullets carelessly. You can't just go buy ammo from ammo boxes like you can now in modern zombies. Every shot you had mattered. You had to strategically manage your points, decide which doors to open, and whether you wanted to go for a wall weapon or the mystery box. When you flip this to modern zombies like Cold War and Black Ops 6, they let you choose your starting weapons, and you're more powerful from the first round, which in the short term honestly is fun, but again, in the long term, it removes the tension completely. Early rounds just feel like a lukewarm warm-up instead of a strategic challenge, and that initial sense of accomplishment is just completely gone. You just feel brain dead going through the beginning rounds. Now, let's talk about the maps themselves. Classic maps versus modern maps. Now, I want you to take a look at this picture. Look at this picture of Shadows of Evil. And I want you to look at these other pictures. Look at Terminus. Look at Citadel. Look at Liberty Falls. Look at the Shattered Veil. Look at the Tomb. And look at Reckoning. And you tell me if any of these Black Ops 6 maps even hold a candle to Shadows of Evil artistically. And look, I'm sorry if you're one of those people that chose one of the Black Ops 6 maps artistically over Shadows of Evil. I'm sorry, but you're just wrong. It's just the fact that you are wrong. And I don't even have to use Shadows of Evil here. Let's use Gorod Krovi. Let's use Zetsubo no Shima. Let's use Revelations, a map with a lot of reused assets, which is kind of similar to the modern zombies now. There's a lot of reused things. But artistically, again, the modern zombies maps don't hold a candle to these maps whatsoever. And what's sad is they have so much better technologies now than they did back then. They have more powerful hardware that can handle more graphically intensive things. And it's almost like they're devolving in this aspect rather than evolving. You would think Shadows of Evil is the modern map we should have now, and you would think that Liberty Falls is the map we should have had back then. And here's another example. Compare Town to Liberty Falls. Dude, the aura and the feeling and the artistic direction of Town is a million times better than Liberty Falls. I'm sorry, it just is. And honestly, this isn't even close. I respect your opinion if you like the modern zombies maps more. I get that. But I'm sorry, most people, if you show them these two images right here, are going to tell you that Shadows looks better. I'm sorry, that it's just true. Now, let's talk about the actual perk systems. And I get some people really like the perk system in modern zombies, but for me, it's kind of a love-hate relationship. On one hand, it is really nice that you can get every single perk in the game. And, you know, it's not one of those situations where, okay, I just have to pick these 4 perks and all these other ones I'm never, ever, ever going to use, and they're just going to sit in the map and look pretty. I get that, and that's a decent argument, and honestly, I don't mind that. But the other effect that it causes, which I cannot stand, is it makes the map or game that you're playing way too easy. Whenever you have all of the perks, which I think in Black Ops 6 you have like 10 or 11 or something like that, it makes you feel like a freaking god. And I know you're supposed to feel like that to an extent, but whenever you're able to just a PhD slider around the map and the zombies never hit you ever, It's kind of crazy to me, to be honest with you. Now, I get, yes, in old zombies, you could train and get this same sort of effect, but it was much, much riskier to be training back then than it is now. It's so much easier to be able to train in these newer games because of the perk system, because of how many hits you can take, because of the PhD slider. It makes you feel like an absolute god. While in the older systems, yes, you are limited by the 4 perk limit most of the time, but this allows the developers to add Easter eggs to give you more perk slots or free perks, etc., etc. In Black Ops 6, there is a lot of free perk Easter eggs, but a lot of the times the impact is much, much less in Black Ops 6 because you have unlimited perk slots anyways. I would be much more excited to get a perk slot or a free perk if I knew, oh, I have all 4 perks already. Now I'm kind of breaking the rules a little bit and I'm getting my 5th perk or 6th perk. It makes it much more enjoyable to do the side Easter eggs in classic zombies because, like I said, in modern zombies, if you get a free perk, it's kind of cool, yeah, but you're not really getting anything special. You could just go buy it from the Wonder Fizz or the perk machine anyways. While in classic zombies, when I get this, it feels like I'm breaking the rules and it's really satisfying to get. Now, let's talk about the most annoying thing to me in modern zombies at least, and it's all the damn progression trees they added on for absolutely no reason. First, you've got the rarity system. Then you've got the pack-a-punch. Then you've got the armor system. Then you've got the crafting bench, which makes all the maps feel the goddamn same when you are playing them, which again plays into that point I made in the beginning that makes the maps feel all the same when you're playing. Every time you are playing a modern zombies map, you are doing the exact same thing every single time. Now, yes, I know what you're about to say. In classic zombies, there is elements to this, but the mechanics of the map is what saves that from becoming so dull and stale. There's so many cool mechanics in the old maps. Like, for example, the plant system from Zetsubo. Now, I know it's a little controversial, but I actually really like the plant system in Zetsubo. Or how about Grod Krovi with the goddamn dragons being able to ride them to Pack-a-Punch? Is that not fucking sick? And when you look at the old classic maps, there is a lot of them that have unique features like this. And when you compare them to modern zombies, there's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, that touches these unique features of the classic maps. Now, the one thing I will give modern zombies now is the boss fights and the boss designs are freaking amazing. They've done a really, really good job this year of giving us unique bosses every single time. Even though people don't like the Sentinel artifact, it is still a cool boss fight. And I think they've actually killed it in this department. And I actually hope they keep the boss fight department like this. This is something that they should not touch. But as far as all the other unique ideas from classic to modern, that's the only thing I think modern wins in is the boss fight department. So look, my verdict on this ultimately is modern zombies is way too streamlined and the maps are not unique enough. And it just makes it to where you are doing the exact same thing every single game. There is not enough unique features in the map to kind of combat this either. You're, like I said a while ago, upgrading your armor, then upgrading your rarity, and then pack-a-punching and getting your perks every single time. And the mystery box element is not there to kind of, you know, mix it up a little bit, which is a really, really big downfall of modern zombies to me. And in my opinion, is probably the biggest downfall. While classic zombies just feels more difficult, not by spamming bosses at you, by organically making it tougher to survive in the beginning, and by rewarding you by, yes, still getting stronger in the game, but there is a lot more twists and turns during this process, and it makes it a lot more fun at the end of the day because it's not as predictable. And again, I keep going to this mystery box point, but that's what made zombies fun to me in the first place, is that element of not knowing what was going to happen. What was the next move you were going to make? If you got that China Lake out of the box, what were you going to do? You can't spawn in with the commando on Black Ops 1 like you can in Modern Zombies. And if you could, classic zombies would be a million times worse due to this. Now, I want to know your guys' opinion in the comments. Do you like the more classic feel? Do you like the more unique sandboxes with unique mechanics, with more organic difficulty? Or do you like the more modern feel that is more streamlined and more accessible to players? Let me know in the comments below. Let's hope that in Black Ops 7, though, they give us more classic mechanics, because let's just be real, they are better.